Hi guys, it's Rick Shiels down here in Orlando testing the new TAYLORMADE P-770 irons. I've just reviewed the P-750 irons, which are the slightly smaller version of these two. And now I'm going to move on to the 770. And for me, I think this is going to be a welcome little bit of extra club head to help me hit better shots compared to the 750s. If you want to see the review of that, it's already on my channel, you can watch it there. I'm actually down here at the Foresight Sports site because I wanted to test these clubs in the same conditions as I normally test, and that's why GC2 is so good. But I'm actually testing the new one. This is GCQ. So I normally have GC2 and HMT separate, two devices that work together. Well, this is all in one unit. So I've still got it linked up with the FSX software so we can still see the ball flight. So I'm excited about this. So I pinched these clubs to test. I've got 7 iron, 3 iron and 9 iron. I'm going to move on to 7 iron first. Now, I did ask, but I didn't get them quite sent over in time for the specs of these irons. They said they're kind of quite standard specs, so I've not got the full specs. I'll put them in the bottom because I will have them after the review. But I'd imagine the 7 iron sits at somewhere like 33, 34 degrees of loft. The difference between the 750 and the 770 is an extra 0.20 of a millimeter blade length. So the 770 is called that because of the blade length. The other big difference in that, it's got a lot more tungsten in the bottom of the club head. Actually 70 grams compared to 5 grams that you get in the 750. So way more help at the bottom of this golf club. You can actually see the little bit more of a grade off bottom of this club where the extra tungsten is. And what the guy said, it was actually more aimed towards the toe and the heel. So you're giving a bit more off-centered hits, supposed to add a little bit more punch. We've not got face slots, we've not got speed slots in these irons. These are so what's the right word? Almost stripped back completely. These have been designed by the best players in the world, the tour pros. They wanted an iron that did what they wanted to do and looked how they wanted to do it, and that's what TAYLORMADE have done. This is a forged iron, then you've got the tungsten. It looks quite smart along the back. Looks very much like, almost like the ping irons that have just come out as well, the i200s. They're all going for these lines at the back, which is very interesting. I'm hitting Pro V1s. I mentioned the top line earlier on with the 750s, and we get the same look with this. It's a thicker top line, but it's still very boxy. It's not hardly an offset, but very boxy. The edges are very sharp, actually. Let's give this a hit and see what numbers we're looking at. That felt lovely. It's a nice ball flight. And that's, whether that was just a far superior hit, or whether that bit of tungsten, a bit of more weight, a bit more club, has delivered way more distance. 174, I could not get the 750s even close to that. You've got to remember, these clubs aren't designed for distance. That's not what they're aiming for. I absolutely flushed that one. That felt lovely off the head. I'm a huge fan of the softness of the metal. The forging of the metal is lovely. Tiny bit left of my target line. They're way longer. Longer than the 750s. If I was to describe the feeling, you still get the same softness, but I can sense there's a bit more help behind the head. Whether that's just the placebo effect, thinking that there's more weight behind the head, therefore it's a bit more confidence boosting potentially, but it doesn't seem quite as frightening to hit, where the 750s haven't got any help at all. But I will keep stressing this point. It's not what they're aimed for. They're not aimed for helping people. I'm afraid these clubs, they aim for performance alone. That is it. Feel, look, performance from the best players in the world. So they're not going to be long irons. Let's hit in a few more. I really love that flight. Now this is what I wanted. I can't get over how much longer they are. I hope the lofts aren't wrong, and if they are, I'll make sure that that's mentioned below in the little run through of the lofts. Now that's an iron I could use. 750s, nah, not for me. That's an iron I could use, the 770s. I'm actually going to go one more, and you can see the strike locations coming up as well, so you can see all the data off the head. Let's go one more. Like, they've got a real good, like, kind of crack to them. I like them a lot. Feel definitely better kind of performance, feel, forgiveness than the 750s, but without question. Now let's see if that continues as I go back in the set. And this, again, you can tell when the players' irons, when they're actually even offering a 3-iron, because normally you don't get 3-irons anymore. They are gone, they are obsolete. But the P770s and 750s have got 3-iron. This is a much friendlier 3-iron to look down on, much thicker. You can see the comparison between the 750 and the 770 as I throw a close-up in there so you can see the top line differences. A definite chunkier iron. Almost I wouldn't even put this in a player's category, this iron. This looks like it's definitely sitting more towards like an RSI 2 type of looking iron. Don't be scared about maybe trying this if you're interested in like an RSI 2 iron, so that sort of range. Let's go with a 3-iron. It's a little tiny left one. When you're hitting on a 360-degree driving range with not many targets, it's not super easy to keep aligning up. Let's try and get some on target a bit more. Great feel off the head, definitely comes out low. You don't get any help with height on these irons at all. That was a bit of a toey, not a great hit. Yeah, that was a toey, not a great hit, and it still almost got there. Let's go one more with the 3. Chunkier, definitely chunkier. I'm seeing a lot of players actually thinking about this. If the lofts do match up, going from 770 in the long irons, then moving into 750s in the shorter irons. See a lot of players going to do that because this 3-iron is definitely more forgiving than you would get in the 750. Let's go one more. Oh! I'm not even going to turn around. I'm not even going to look at people that's watching. I don't even want to see their reactions, I'm afraid. Pete's there in the background. Just luckily he's not looking. Let's go one better one than that. That was a horrible, chunky, bad strike. And then I back it up with that. Bullet. Now I can turn my face again in and not get any evils. I'm going to move to 9-iron next. So the 770 9-iron, P779. The flag's about 150 away. 153 to be exact. Let's see what the 9-iron does. I can't, I really do, and I mentioned in the 750 review, I so wanted these to be better looking from the top because I saw loads of images from behind. I was like, oh yeah, they look good. They look smart. I'm really interested in them because the pictures of these got leaked way earlier. The TaylorMade, and it wasn't called the P770, they were called the Proto. They got leaked way early. Not like, I don't know, not like an iron launch anymore. They got almost, obviously the best players in the world wanted to use them already. So it's hard to keep it a secret. Right, 779 iron. See if we can hit some good shots to finish with this club. Clean but straight down target. A little bit off the bottom groove, I would say, just a touch. See if I can get it to carry slightly better than that. Just a tiny bit off the bottom groove, and you'll probably see it once the shot data comes up. For some reason it's moved to a hybrid data, but you can see that red mark there right at the bottom. That's the strike location, very much off the bottom of that head. It's not hybrid I'm using, obviously, it's just how it's changed it for some reason, I don't know why. Let's go another 9-iron, see if I can find slightly higher on the face. Oh, that's the bullet, that's going to go in. Oh. They're trying to make excuses that it didn't. It's just the one place where it shouldn't go wrong. Okay, it's the best shot I hit as well. That. should be okay. I'm going to finish one more with the 9 and then give it a bit of a summary of these irons. I feel a little bit, I don't know, somewhat deflated over them. I feel like they could have been something, for my visual eye, something really, really, really good. They're definitely going to suit some players' eyes. Let's go one more with the 9. Get close. It's a nice one to finish on. So, let me get the P750 back up again in my hand. Irons I think from this view, when I'm looking at them, I love the look of them. I think they do everything for me visually that I would want an iron of this caliber to do. They look smart, they look clean, there's not too much complicatedness on it, there's no gimmicks, there's no gadgets, there's no anything. I think from when I've hit bladed TaylorMade irons in the past, they have a much more rounded shape to them, like the tour preferred MCs and MBs, much more kind of rounded. These don't, they're very clinical, they're very sharp in the top edges. Top lines that are thicker than I expected, even though we go from thinner in the 750 to slightly thicker in the 770. Still not as thin as I was expecting, and very sharp in the lines. Performance, do not be fooled, you will not get any help with these irons at all, but that's not what it's about. It's not about getting help with these irons. There is another, how TaylorMade call it, family of golf clubs that will look after you if you want help and distance. It's not what these are for. These are you, these are the player, all about the player, and it's the best players in the world that use these types of irons. I do think though the 770, because it is a bit chunkier, is definitely going to leak into the kind of higher handicapper range. I do, honestly. And I don't mean high handicap, but I think single figures, moving into mid handicaps, moving into kind of high teen handicappers would definitely be able to hit and benefit from a 770 iron. I just think the 750 or the 750 doesn't. That's very, very best players in the world that should be using that. Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the view. I loved using GCQ. I think that's a really cool advice. The graphics, as always, are so good off the FSX, and that made things a lot easier because the hitting space is like 6 times bigger and it's all in one unit. Big fan of that. So thanks to the guys at Foresight for letting me come down here and film. Guys, loads more stuff to come from Orlando. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. If you did, click thumbs up, comment below, tell me what you think about the new sets. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.